Good afternoon and welcome to Dawlish. I'm down here for, well, half a day today. What time is it? It's 3:20, so less than half a day today and the whole of tomorrow. And why am I down here? It's a bucket list thing really, because I came down here a lot in the 1970s as part of family holidays, and I have a lot of memories of the place, but I've never been back in 50 years, so I thought I'll come down with the camera, with a video, grab some shots, and just sort of keep the memories a little bit more alive than they are at the moment, as they sort of waste away with age. So it's a case of just coming down here and seeing what's here, and as I say, grab some footage as we go. Weather-wise, it's good today, even though I've had a shower already, as in a rain shower. Tomorrow's not so good, so in about 10 minutes time I'm going to be straight back out instead of resting up after the train journey, and getting some of the stuff done, in fact most of the stuff done that I was going to get covered tomorrow, just in case. And the first of those things is a totally mad bucket list thing, which is to run the Dawlish seawall, and that's something that's been on my mind for about 10 years now, since I took up running. I want to run from Dawlish to Dawlish Warren. It's not a huge run, about 2.5 to 3 kilometres, but I've always wanted to do it, just to tick it off. As I say, it's a bucket list item, so that's where it's going to start. I'm going to wander back down into the village in a few minutes time with my running shoes on, and I'm going to do that run down to Dawlish Warren, have a look around Dawlish Warren, and then walk back on the seawall, and we'll take it from there. So I will see you with running shoes on in a few minutes. Right, let's get running. Once we've got up the steps, all part of the new build around here. What a glorious day for a run. Great to do a park run along here, if it was long enough. I will be walking back along the seawall, so you get a non-jittery version of this a little bit later, if I survive. Two kilometres done, nearly there. Great fun. Oh no, we've got a hill. I didn't want any hills. What goes up must come down again. We're onto the bridge up ahead. That's it. That is it. There's the bridge. Whoa. Tick it off. Bucket list item done. Oh, that was good. I enjoyed that. Oh. Dawlish Warren Station, as it is today. The building over there, it looks like a signal box. I can't remember, I don't think there was a signal box here before, and if there was, I don't think it was there. And that isn't it, because that's quite a modern build, and the interior looks like it's rentals of some sort for train buffs, I would imagine. What more could you ask for if you're into your railways? Back in the 70s I was a train spotter, no less. I mean, I was born in a village, I was born in a railway village, and it was football or railways, that's all you did. So I grew up with trains. And coming here in the 70s on family holidays, you had the sea and the beach. About 50 yards away from here, if that. You nearly always had great weather down here. And you had a railway that virtually ran along the beach, so it was like it was the holy mecca, I think, for railway enthusiasts and train spotters. And I spent many an hour on this platform. Happy days, some of the happiest days of my life. A bit sad to admit, but yeah, I just loved it. I love railways, and this was just a magical place really to come, both for the beach, the sea, and for the railways, and you could do all of them together. So yeah, it's absolutely brilliant, and this was one of the places I wanted to come back to and sit on the platform as I did, what's it, 50 years ago. Brilliant. I think I've got an old picture I'll put up actually from more or less where we are now, roughly. And you can see some old buildings on the right hand side there, which have long since gone and been replaced by a new build that's made to look like an old build. Although the trains in this area are extremely boring and of no interest to me whatsoever. I still would like to see a train come through Dawlish Warren Station for just one more time, but no sign of anything. Green lights the other way, otherwise nothing. Alas. Express train to London Paddington. 50 years ago that would have been quite exciting. It was a train. When I was a little boy I used to dream of stopping in these carriages. You can book them like holiday cottages, and they're actually very nice inside. Very Orient Express in style. They don't look it. I'll put some pictures up. I don't know whether I'll ever get round to doing it, and I suspect if I do it'll only be me. But yeah, they've been here for a long time. Right next to the line as well. This place has changed a lot, and then again it hasn't. Most of this was here 50 years ago, different versions of it. But all these buildings up in front, I'm pretty sure we're not here. I don't remember these. I don't think these were here, but then again, maybe they were. There was a toilet block, but it wasn't over there, I'm sure. I think it was where I'm walking now. It's all been updated, modernised. We can put a pub in. Very spit and sawdust venue, but yeah, we had a lot of happy days here. Certainly remember these. Never went on them, never wanted to either. Certainly been on that beach a few times. Smile. Didn't want to be on the video. Yeah, the toilet block used to be in the centre here. It's now at the back. So I do remember bits of it. But those buildings at the back are new compared with the 70s, put it that way. There's those Brunel, as they're called, Brunel railway carriages. Brunel Holiday Park. You've got to like trains though to stop there. Not just for the accommodation, but because you're literally 10 foot away from the main line. Great fun. I read something the other day, it said this bridge is I think 170 years old, which is pretty staggering. Dates back to the start of the railway. Grade 2 listed. The padlock fence. Different. I think that's Exmouth. Could be wrong, but I think it is. Never been there. I'm pretty sure you used to be able to get up to the top of this rock up ahead. Don't think I ever did do it, but I've got this sort of feeling that if you can do it, and as I'm here, I ought to do it. I'm not sure you can. If you can, I will. Get some views from the top. I've just seen somebody clambering down, so we're going to have to climb it. Definitely going to climb it. Mount Dawlish. So hoping for a pre-climb cup of tea with an ice cream and a scone. Never mind. Do with an escalator or something. Blimey, it looks a bit tricky. I don't think I'm going up there. No, that's a bit of a leg breaker, isn't it? Don't do it, don't do it. Easy. Whoa. It's a bit windy up here. Oh dear. Wouldn't want to do this in wet conditions. Good God. Yeah. Good job, I'm agile. Eek. Oh. That's where we were a few seconds ago, at the top of that one. Time to escape the wind and the beach. If you think that was pretty violent, that is nothing for this place. I think it was February 2014. In a big storm, the waters came right up over the wall, onto the railway tracks, and just basically washed away all the stone, all the ballast underneath the rails, and left the rails hanging in mid-air. It was pretty spectacular stuff. When I get to the right spot, I'll put a picture up from 2014. You can just see how incredible it was and why they've had to do so much work since then to strengthen and protect the railways, to strengthen the wall, protect the railways, and stop that ever happening again when we get there. This was about spot on where those two lines in front of us were decimated by the 2014 storm. If you home in on the pink, salmon pink coloured house on the sort of centre right, and then look at this 2014 photograph, you'll be able to pick it out and see those two tracks hanging in mid-air. Where we are today is slightly higher up than the old seawall, which was below this and always was dangerous when the tide was coming in. But yeah, the waters came right up and just made a complete mess of the railway line, the West Coast Main Line. Hopefully it'll never happen again. They've reinforced it, they've put extra walls in, they've brought everything up higher, so it should be safe now. But a spectacular sight for sure. Very nice. The plan was to have fish and chips on the beach. It was one of those things I wanted to do, but the tide's in. There's no beach there, so I can't do that. And the seagulls are sort of next level. They're a bit mad, so I don't think I'd have got very far with a tray of fish and chips on the beach with them lot. So I'll try and hit the beach tomorrow with something to eat, just to achieve that particular one. Yeah, it's been a good afternoon and early evening. I've done 15 kilometres of walking and running, and it's great fun. I really enjoyed that one. I do a few things in the morning. The weather forecast tomorrow is sort of dry, sunshine, risk of a shower, but not much in the morning. But after lunch, that risk goes through the roof, and I think it'll be pretty wet. So I've got to get out in the morning and have a wander around Dawlish and see what is what, and pick up a few things I didn't do today, and that'll be about it. So yeah, that's it. Gonna eat my fish and chips, get in bed, watch TV, and probably fall asleep pretty quickly. I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. And welcome to Tuesday. Tuesday was meant to be the day in which I was going to be darting around doing most of what I did yesterday. Unfortunately, the weather forecast today is pretty grim, so I've probably got about 3 or 4 hours, if I'm lucky, before the rains move in, and then the day is pretty much a write-off unless we get something quite late on. So I need to get out early. It's about 7:30, so I've got a few things I want to do today. Mixture of mad bucket list items and trip round Dawlish, have a look at the town as it were, and if I've got time and the weather's okay, I might head off on the train to Starcross, which I've never been to before. So a few places to do, but reliant on the weather holding good, so fingers crossed, and let's get out there and get moving. Early morning walk. Want to get up to the top of this hill. I'm hoping there's a view up there that I want to see. May not be, but if we don't try, we won't know. Can't quite see the view that I hope to see in the gap in the distance, looking down on Dawlish. It's kind of treed over. Might get a better view a bit closer up, but the hedges have grown up a bit to see a train in the distance. Keep spotting little clumps of cyclamen growing wild in the hedgerow. Unusual. Good to see though. Yeah, this view we used to see as kids back in the 70s on the way to the beach. There's a great view down on the station. The beach, the sea, the sunshine. Can't see many of those things today because the hedges have grown up a wee bit, so that's the end of that bucket list item. Not quite sure what this path is. Is it private? I don't think so. Might get a view up here. Yeah, looking promising. Not quite the view I wanted, but at least not from the location I wanted, but oh yeah, very nice. Very nice. Yeah, cracking view of Dawlish and the railway. We used to see it from the road as kids as we'd come across from the campsite that we'd stop at, which was down the sort of Teen Estuary on the way to Newton Abbot. We'd come up over the hill, drop down into Dawlish. It was the first glimpse that we saw of the beach ahead where we would be spending the day. Although it wouldn't be here, it would be at Dawlish Warren, but same thing. You'd see the beach, you'd see the sea. It's a lovely view. Oh, that was good. Didn't get the view I was looking for from the road, but this is better, much better. Cracking viewpoint. Pleased with that. Down below us is Boat Cove, which is on my list of places I wanted to visit. Not that I can remember ever being here before, but I have an old photograph from the 60s that was taken on the beach down there, and I wanted to sort of reenact it 50 years on. But obviously I'd get a bit wet if I tried it at the moment, so I think high tide was about 5 o'clock. So I'm going to have to gamble Getting a shot here later this morning if the rains haven't started. I must admit, I have absolutely no idea where I'm going, but I'm hoping to go down to the seawall. There's a glimpse of Boat Cove, the smallest of beaches, until the tide disappears, or goes out, should I say. Different. Let's go this way instead. We're down. Amazing how these outcrops of very soft sandy material have been weathered as they would be on days like this. Many of the cliffs around here are made of the same soft sandstone, so there's a lot of warning signs about unstable cliffs up there. Let's keep moving. Boat Cove. In case I don't get a chance later on because of the weather, I'll put up the old 1960s photograph of my brother on the beach somewhere in front of me with a similar backdrop 50 years ago, 1964 I think it was. Not changed a whole lot, unlike my brother. That is the Kenaway Tunnel, and it says it is 206 metres long on the route through towards Teignmouth, or from Teignmouth if you prefer. Never been down here before, or have no recollection of ever being down here before. You see all the steel netting pinned to the cliff face to stop it coming down, in theory. When we get into Dawlish, you'll see some pretty major engineering works on the lawns there, which is a bit of a shock really, but it's for a good cause, and it'll be here for about another 9 months before hopefully it vanishes. Let me just let this train past. The works taking place are from the local water authority. They're sinking a gigantic metal pit, tank if you like, under the ground on the lawns, so that when they have a storm flow from heavy rains, instead of sweeping detritus and sewage out to sea, they can use these tanks to stop that happening, to stop it overpowering the waterworks. So it's for a good cause, but unfortunately until I think it's May next year, it's a real eyesore, which is a shame, but I'll try and avoid it as much as I can as we walk through the town. What a great place to come out for a morning walk if you lived here. Or a run. Not today for me. The seawall around the town itself has been pretty much tarted up, improved if you prefer, with the upgrading of the station which has taken place over recent years, and probably last like this for another 100 years I would suspect, but nicely done. You can walk along here now without getting drowned if there's as there is this morning, a spray coming up from a sort of choppy sea. I think the path used to be a bit lower down than this. It's a shame that's not still operating. Ocean's Bed and Breakfast. What a lovely building. Somebody must be able to do something with that. Looking a bit lively down here. Might have to duck. There's a bit of water up on the seawall. Right, let's go and have a look around the town. At least find a black swan. Can't go home without seeing a black swan. I can see a giraffe and a gorilla and a lion. Need to find a black swan. Strange. That's a lovely front garden. Right at the top of the town before it gets busy. Nice trout. Provision of new surface water drainage system. Accepted finish November 2025. I was told it's May next year. I've got most of those. Lovely building, Shaftesbury Theatre. It's been around a while. A Dawlish black swan, no less. Coming down to the legendary and long-standing Gay's Creamery. This has been around many decades. If I could handle a cream tea, that's where I'd go. Or an ice cream. Not really at that point yet today. Not a good place for a diabetic. Bread pudding. I could murder that. Used to be an old water wheel and water mill here somewhere. This is called the Old Mill Tea Room. It must have been somewhere here. I think the wheel is still around. Probably just past this building. Yeah, there it is. Lovely. Wow. Fantastic. think I'll take advantage of the weather and jump on a train to Starcross if I can. I daren't leave it too long. I believe I'm right in saying this stonework in front of us, brickwork, stonework, is the surviving pieces of Brunel's atmospheric railway pumping station that used to exist here. We'll do more on this one when we get to Starcross, as long as it's not raining, because this is a more complete pumping station at Starcross. But the railway run from Exeter to Newton Abbot, and there were pumping stations at several points along the line, and after Starcross this was the next one at Dawlish. Not a lot left. I assume the bit at the top was a chimney because there used to be a steam engine in there, which was what was used to keep the vacuum that was in the pipework that drove the system going. But as I say, we'll cover it more when we get to Starcross. The weather is coming from the direction in front of us. As you can see, it's pretty brutal looking, and we're not going to miss it. It's a big swathe of rain. We should still have a couple of hours, but it's looking a bit like it could come sooner. Hopefully not.
Leave the train when the doors are closing.
This is a Great Western Railway service to Exmouth. The next station is Dawlish Road.
Welcome to Starcross. Pretty sure I've never been here before. And I've got 45 minutes before I've got to return. Otherwise I'm stuck here for 2 hours, which I don't want. Let's have a look around. That is the pumping station for Brunel's atmospheric railway, built in the 1840s, died in the 1840s. I mean, Brunel was a legend to anybody who's into railways. This was one of his inventions that didn't quite work, and the idea was he ran a pipe between the railways, and he used pumping stations to create a vacuum in the pipe, and somehow that vacuum hauled the trains along between Exeter and Newton Abbot, I think it was, and it would have hauled them along silently because there was no engine. So the concept was mighty fine, but it just didn't work. I think it ran for about 9-10 months with passengers, and then they gave up. Keeping the vacuum in the pipe proved to be nigh on impossible, and the cost from the steam engines was too high for it to be a profitable railway. And as I say, it died, I think it was about 1848, something like that, less than a year after it started. So it wasn't his best idea, but this is the most complete of his pumping stations still standing. The tower actually used to be, well, it's a chimney rather than a tower, but it used to be even taller than that, but they lopped it off for fear it was going to collapse onto the main railway line that runs next to it. But it stands as a tribute to the great man, albeit not to his great atmospheric railway. Starcross Pumping Station, built 1846 by Isambard Kingdom Brunel. You can see the building's been significantly tweaked over the recent years. You can see where there used to be an arch in the centre there. Not sure what it looked like originally. Probably not the most robust stone to build anything out of. You can see it's being blasted away slowly. Spectacular building. The main street in Starcross is known as the Strand. Seems to be made up of what look like Victorian former guest houses, which probably fits with the location and won't have changed much since then, if at all. The Atmospheric Railway Pub, minus a few letters. That was originally my plan for lunch, but it doesn't open until 12, and I'm not sticking around that long with the weather closing in, so I have to give it a miss this time, unfortunately. Lovely old set of rusting gates. Guarantee they've been around for over 100 years. Not in use anymore. Lovely houses. Give the village some character at least. There's not a lot here really, apart from the pumping station and the railway station and 2 or 3 pubs. But it looks out across the River Exe estuary towards Exmouth, so the views are spectacular. Not quite a Boots superstore, must be the smallest frontage in the country for a Boots. The end of that jetty there is the ferry, very popular in the summer. Not sure today qualifies as summer, but it's the Star-Crossed to Exmouth ferry. I think it's about £7 or £8 return. If it was a nicer day I might have been tempted. Head somewhere over there, I don't know, presumably. I don't really know where Exmouth is, but it must be there in the distance. That's the estuary of the River Exe, with Exeter in the far distance, centre left. And out towards Exmouth. And out to sea. That's the back of the pumping station, Brunel's pumping station. You see how close it is to the current day main line, which is why that chimney tower, call it what you will, was lopped off at some point not long ago, because they wouldn't have wanted that coming down. £8.50 return is pretty decent, really. It's a bit of a choppy journey today. Not tempted. The sun is shining on Star-Crossed. Yeah, it still looks a bit gloomy from where the weather's coming from, but it's holding up. They said it wouldn't rain till the afternoon, so looks like they might be right and I might be wrong. It's quite pleasant if windy out here, but then we're halfway into the sea, I guess, so it's bound to be windy. Anyway, what time's it? 10:41. My train should be here in about 3 minutes. Bang on time. My train back to Dawlish.
Dawlish Warren.
Weather's still dry, sun's almost out. There's only one place I've got to go now, really. Tick another must do from the list, if I can find the right place. That looks promising. It looks full as well. How good is that? It's actually moving. Got to be done. Very nice. I said I'd come back to Boat Cove once the tide was out, and the tide is out at last. Should have brought my net and my bucket, I think, if I don't get blown away. Some good crabbing down there, some good rock pools. Just been looking at the fitness stats on my fitness watch, and managed to clock up just under 30 kilometers in the last 2 days, so put a bit of effort in there, but it's been fun. I think it's 920 calories that I've burnt, but it's probably not going to do me a lot of good because I've pretty much trashed that today. 2 pan of raisin for breakfast, cream tea as you saw. For lunch, I couldn't video much more than I did because the battery on the phone died. So, but cream tea for lunch, and tea's going to be, well, I'll show you what tea's going to be. This is Gay's Creamery, the shop window that I filmed yesterday. I had to go back. That is a Gay's Creamery homemade cheese and tomato quiche, which will be my tea tonight. And if that doesn't kill me, there's something else somewhere. I had to go back. This had to be done. Also from Gay's Creamery. I know it looks pretty deadly, unless, like me, you like bread and butter pudding. That looks good. Really does look good. That's bread and butter pudding, but that'll be my breakfast tomorrow because I haven't got any options. All the cafe bars in Dawlish don't open early enough for me to pop in before my train home, which leaves here at 9:25. I'm not going to do any filming tomorrow because it's going to be a busy enough day. I've got to get to Paddington, and then I've got to get across to King's Cross for my train to Peterborough, and I can't do it because the tube drivers are on strike, and there are no alternatives. I've looked at overground, underground, buses, taxis. I could do taxis, about 40 to 50 pounds for a 10-minute journey. They're really milking the fact that people are in trouble in London and unable to use the tube or any alternatives really, so they're really milking it. So I'm not going to be paying that sort of money, so I'm going to be walking for about an hour from Paddington across to St Pancras. I've had to abandon my journey from King's Cross and just take the hit, but Thameslink have got a really good deal going on, so I can get back from St Pancras up to Peterborough for a very decent price, and that'll be my route back. So I'm not going to be filming any of that. I'm not walking through London carrying an iPhone based video camera, otherwise the chances are I won't make it. Well, I certainly won't make it with the camera still in hand, so I won't be filming tomorrow. So that's it, it's all done. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's been great down here. I've absolutely loved every second of it, and it's everything that I hoped it would be. I won't be rushing back, but I will definitely come back here one day, probably spend a bit longer, perhaps have a bit of a family week down here and do Torbay and go a bit further afield. But it's been absolutely great, really enjoyed it, and everything's gone well, and even the weather's been good. So that's it, home tomorrow.